understand. You're selling something that you're willing to haul, but you won't take it apart.
Mm-hmm. What the heck? Why is this acting like... Here we go. I typed in Get Well Family Chiropractic, and it was like, nothing exists with that name.
Whatever.
Okay, we are live.
Yay!
Officially.
Nice.
Share.
So let's go find it on the page. There we are. Oh, and I gotta remember to turn the volume all the way down. So we can watch for comments.
Well, I might have shared that on the wrong page again.
Did you share it back to the office page?
Perhaps.
Ah!
I didn't check to see where I shared it.
That's so funny. I love it. We still need to find our theme music.
I know. Feels extra quiet right now.
It does, doesn't it?
Delete post. I messed up. Okay.
Got it. Your mom got that crazy message a minute ago, too.
Oh. Huh. Weird. Okay. Share. Find post.
There we go. Phew. Come and join us. Because we love it when people join us.
Yes, we love to be joined.
We do, we do. I'm going to give us a heart. I hearted us. I love us. So
We want these to be interactive.
We do, indeed. Yes. Excellent. Hey, Merlene. Hey, Chris. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's so fun when we have an audience.
I know.
And just as a reminder, did you put it in there? That we put these on YouTube? Is it down at the end?
It's on the end.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
wait,
All right.
This is not even back.
There it is. Got it. Well, thank you for being here tonight. My name is Dr. Robin Lawrence. I am the lead chiropractor here at Get Well Family Chiropractic. And with me is
Dr. Sarah Ponica, the not lead, second in command.
Second in command. I love it. My right-hand woman, shall we say. We're really excited that you guys are here with us tonight, talking about pelvic floor, which is really important for women, but also for men. And we also really want to just acknowledge you. We realize that you guys have other things that you could have chosen to do at this moment. Maybe you're just wrapping up dinner, or dinner maybe it's just needing to get started or whatever, and you chose to be here with us for a little while to learn some stuff. So take a moment to share this video to your timeline, to maybe the people that you care about or that you love, so that we can maybe have a watch party going. Just get us information out to as many people as possible. Yeah. We're just, we're building our tribe. The whole point of this is to build a tribe of people in our community who are educated, who are empowered, and who can really help lead the community to healthier, more active lifestyles.
Exactly.
And so we're really looking forward to strengthening pelvic floors this evening. As with any transformation, keep in mind it's your workout, right? It's your time, it's your body, so own it, right? Some days will be more challenging than others. I know I had a couple of those this weekend, but use your goals to keep you motivated.
All right, so what is the pelvic floor?
Is it the floor?
No, not quite that kind of floor.
Not that floor. Okay.
Ooh, do you want to go grab the pelvis?
I watched the Muppets this weekend, so I'm feeling a little comical. I would love to grab the pelvis.
I actually brought my spine with a pelvis on it, but I left it in the car and just now remembered about it. But, oh well, that's okay.
I think we can work with this.
This is part of a pelvis.
That's the back side. Turn it around the front way, though. There we go. Yay!
So we're just going to review a little bit of anatomy here. So the pelvic floor is made up of supportive muscles, tendons, and ligaments at the base of our pelvis. So the base of our pelvis is down here, and those muscles, tendons, ligaments are in that space.
Mm-hmm. And they act like that trampoline.
Mm-hmm. They sure do. So, like she said,
Yes.
they stretch like a trampoline.
They do.
From the tailbone to our pubic bone. So the tailbone's back here at the bottom of our spine, and then our pubic bone
is here. How about if I hold and you point?
That sounds great. Our pubic bone is up here.
Right, so that's the bony bump that you can feel in the front, down low, just over your bladder.
Yeah. So even though the pelvic floor is hidden from view, like we can't, see our bicep like we see those, we'll see it like we see our bicep. It can be consciously controlled, and therefore it can be trained, just like we can train our arms, legs, or abdominal muscles.
Yep.
The pelvic floor supports the functionality of our bladder, uterus, vagina, and rectum, and provides support and stability to the organs of the lower abdominal cavity. Pelvic floor muscles are also important for sexual function in both men and women.
Yep. And Debbie joined us. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for joining us. All right, so there's a number of factors that can lead to weak and loosened pelvic floor muscles. This is most commonly a result of childbirth. For men, common causes of weak pelvic floor muscles include an injury or surgery from prostate cancer, bowel or bladder problems, constipation, heavy lifting, and even more. So some of the following contributors: pregnancy and childbirth for women, straining on the toilet like during constipation, chronic coughing actually can do it too, heavy lifting like we mentioned, high impact exercise. So we're talking about like high impact aerobics is one example. Age, obviously the older that we get, weaker muscles can happen, and obesity, right? The more weight that we're carrying through this pelvic bowl can also weaken those muscles. In most cases, it is possible to tighten up and strengthen the pelvic floor muscles to regain control. So let's take a closer look at what that looks like.
All right, so we're going to jump into pregnancy and childbirth here. So during pregnancy and childbirth, the pelvic floor muscles get completely stretched out.
No!
Which I think you can imagine that.
I can. I've done it 5 times.
So from the weight of the baby, and then also hormones that are designed to loosen your tissues during pregnancy, and the efforts of labor, these muscles don't stand a chance.
No, they really don't.
Severely weakened pelvic floor muscles, usually following several pregnancies, can cause the pelvic organs to slip down into your pelvis. And this is called pelvic organ prolapse. Prolapse
yeah.
This is terrible thinking about it.
I'm just not even, I'm not even going to play with the bone.
Prolapse gives you this dragging feeling in your vagina because your womb, your bowel, and your bladder are all pushing against the walls of the vagina. And this condition is more likely later in life as you age rather than right after that period.
We've got several patients that have had, sling surgeries from pelvic floor weakness. So if we can help avoid surgeries later in life, the better.
So doing your pelvic floor exercises after childbirth will prevent and treat stress incontinence. It will improve the circulation of blood to your perineum, which is going to help reduce any swelling and bruising there. And it's going to rebuild strength in your pelvic floor. And remember, everybody's different, so you'll want to check with your health professional to decide how soon after labor it's going to be a good idea to begin this pelvic strengthening routine.
Absolutely. Make sure you're talking to your OB. All right, so repeated straining of the pelvic floor muscles. I'm going to set that back there because it's kind of bugging me. Can occur after using the bathroom, right? Chronic coughing, heavy lifting, and high-impact exercises like I mentioned earlier. And the straining creates a pressure on the pelvic floor and ultimately can lead to that prolapse that Dr. Sarah was just talking about. So whether we're lifting weights at the gym or we're doing some heavy lifting for job-specific tasks, like I was carrying the landscaping stones a couple of weekends ago, right? Yeah. So that repeated heavy lifting. It's important that we do it with proper form in order to protect ourselves. The guys and the women that come in that work out in the gym, my bodybuilders and my power lifters, right? They are all like, well, can I do this exercise? I'm like, well, not yet. Or I need you to make sure you're doing it with proper form. Either have a buddy to watch, have somebody film you, make sure you're looking in the mirror that you're using proper form, because proper form is going to give you a better result over those heavy weights sometimes. Additional note, if chronic constipation is an issue, you should have the cause addressed, and we are here to help you address that issue. That is one of the things that we talk about all the time here in the office. And we want to make sure that, nobody has any damage later on just from chronic constipation. So, yeah.
So additional causes of a weakened pelvic floor are attributed to aging and obesity, like we mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So weakened muscles in general is going to be common with age. Pelvic floor exercises can be done at any age to improve conditions that are associated with a weak pelvic floor.
And I think it's common in people who age to have weak muscles because they tend to be more sedentary.
Yeah.
And so for those people who are always out walking and doing stuff, I think that would be an uncommon result for them.
Right.
So stay active.
And being overweight for a prolonged amount of time can also place more considerable strain on the pelvic floor, and that's going to increase the risk of leaking urine too. Mm-hmm. So pelvic floor exercises and weight loss in general can really be beneficial here.
Absolutely. So benefits of pelvic floor muscles. Exercises, not just the muscles, right? So before we get into the actual exercises, which we are going to describe here in conversation, but we're going to post links in the comments to some YouTube videos that we looked up, rather than trying to take, you step by step through how to do the exercise. You just go watch it. So here are the benefits of strengthening the pelvic floor, right? It's going to increase sexual sensation and orgasmic potential. It's going to increase social confidence and quality of life, right? Because we were talking about urine leakage and, incontinence issues. It's going to improve bowel and bladder control. It's going to improve recovery from childbirth and any gynecological surgery that might have happened. You're also going to improve recovery after prostate surgery, right? Because we did mention that having a strong pelvic floor is important for men as well. And it's going to reduce the risk of prolapse.
Okay. So in order to be able to start the pelvic floor muscle training, you first have to identify your pelvic floor muscles correctly.
Because like earlier, I thought we were talking about the floor.
Right.
It's not the floor.
Is that the pelvic floor?
That's not the pelvic floor.
So, have you heard of a Kegel?
I have, as a matter of fact.
I'm sure most of you have, but this is a move that involves consciously drawing up your pelvic floor. So doing a Kegel is going to help you get familiar with the feeling of working your pelvic floor and just knowing that, okay, this is the actual muscles that we're working when we do these other exercises. So to perform a Kegel, you're going to start by lying on your back with your knees bent, and you can really do them in any position.
Yes, standing, seated.
Yeah.
But this was the example.
For this one, you would be on your back, knees bent, feet on the floor, and you're going to squeeze and lift the rectal and vaginal areas as if you were trying to stop yourself from urinating. And just hold that for about 5 to 10 seconds.
Right.
So that's really how you do that Kegel, is just kind of stop peeing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you should feel a closing feeling when you do that squeezing. And then for this particular exercise, it says you would repeat the squeezing and holding for about 5 reps. So just thinking about that Kegel exercise, this is the muscle that you want to squeeze when you're doing your pelvic floor exercises. And we're going to go through a few other exercises after this. We might not, go through the whole description of them, but I think we will make a note to say the part where it says okay, and this is where you squeeze the pelvic floor.
Perfect. I love it.
And another interesting thing before we get started too is here at the office we have our vibration plate.
Yes.
And sometimes we have our patients do a Kegel or squeeze your pelvic floor while you're on the vibration plate, because activating those muscles and then having the vibration plate is going to activate them better.
Yes. So what Dr. Sarah is trying to say is the whole body vibration plate, right? Activates all the muscles in the body as you're standing on it. And then if you were to squeeze your thigh muscle or a glute muscle while you're putting that vibration through it, it's going to give it greater activation. And one of the reasons that we use the whole body vibration in the office is for core strength. And your core is not just your ab muscles, but it's your abs, the muscles that are on your back in that same area, the diaphragm, right, that helps us breathe, and the pelvic floor. It's like a box is your core. So as we're strengthening people's cores to help balance out the spine and the nerve system, we just have them activate that. And whether you're a man or a woman, I make sure we tell people to activate the muscles in that area.
Well said.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, Dan. Hey, Carla. Thanks for joining us. All right. So bridge pose, right? Clearly the picture is self-explanatory. You're going to be lying on your back. Your knees are going to be bent. And you're going to bridge your core forward, upward, I should say.
Yeah, lift your butt.
Lift your butt up. And then you're going to squeeze that pelvic floor. And, you know, you can do 3 reps. You can do 5 reps. Whatever works for you. And like I said, or like Dr. Sarah said, we're going to put these videos in the comments.
Okay, the next one here is our, we can't see this poor girl's face.
Oh, there she is.
Our shifting plank. So this one is going to strengthen your pelvic floor and other core muscles. And basically this is going to be like a regular plank that you're probably thinking of. It's actually different than what's in the picture. You're going to be doing a forearm plank. So you're going to, be facing the ground. Prop yourself up on your forearms, and then just make sure your navel is drawn in, your hips are in line with your shoulders, your butt's not up in the air. And let's see, where does the pelvic floor come into this one? Because I know it did. I guess, just have it activated the whole time.
Yeah.
But the different thing about this than a regular plank is that you're going to shift forward and backward. So your head is going to go forward and backward, and you'll see that in the video.
Awesome. Oh, it's the dreaded wall sit. I don't think anybody likes these things. Look, her face is like, what you talking about?
She looks like a model.
She does. All sassy faced right there. So clearly you're going to stand next to a wall, facing away from the wall. You're going to put your back against the wall. Your feet are going to be 6-8 inches out from the wall. You're going to bend your knees so that, you're at a 90-degree angle. And basically you're sitting against the back of the wall, and then you'll engage the pelvic floor. And you're going to do your best to hold it for as long as you can, and then release, and then just repeat that for at least 60 seconds. Because, you may only be able to engage that pelvic floor for 1 or 2 seconds at a time, depending on how strong that pelvic floor is. Sarah, thanks for joining us.
Split tabletop. Okay, so this one I think is interesting. And when I was looking this one up on YouTube, it specifically said it's for the pelvic floor.
Nice.
So that was cool. So for this one, you're going to be laying on your back. Your knees are going to be bent, and your feet are going to be on the floor. And then what you want to do is go ahead and engage that pelvic floor, and then lift your feet up off the ground so that you're going to be at a 90-degree and then a 90-degree angle. So knees still bent, hips at a 90-degree angle, and then knees at a 90-degree. And then from there, so kind of from the position this girl's in, you are going to just move your legs out. So you want to keep your knees bent how much they are, like the amount they are, but your hips are going to come out and then back in.
So like a clamshell, but on your back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And the feet don't stay together.
Right.
Cool.
And so you inhale when you separate your thighs, and then you exhale when you bring them back in and contract your pelvic floor. So you're contracting your pelvic floor with every breath.
That's awesome.
And repeat that for 15 reps.
I love it. All right, so tabletop pelvic tilts. I almost said tabletop. So obviously you're on the other side now, hands and knees, and you're going to have this nice flat back, right, which is important to engage the ab muscles. And then you're going to inhale to round your lower back, tilting your tailbone down, and you're going to tuck your chin, and you're going to draw your navel up and inward and contract those pelvic floor muscles. Then you're going to exhale, and you're going to come back to flat. So then you'll inhale, and you're going to round, and you're going to exhale and flatten, and you'll repeat 15 times.
All right, bird dogs. So the bird dog exercise is also going to be, working the core muscles and your pelvic floor muscles, and improve balance and coordination. So this is kind of a hard one. So you're going to start in that tabletop position on your hands and knees, and then that's the point where you're going to engage that pelvic And then what you do is you just lift one arm and the opposite leg behind you. And you kind of hold it there for a while, get your balance, and then bring them back down and do however many reps on that one side, and then go ahead and switch.
You know, I'm pretty good on my right side. My left side's terrible on this one. And you'll find that you may be stronger on one side than another. All right, dead bugs. Stop, drop, dead bug. Nice. So a lot of people haven't heard of dead bug exercises, right? It clearly is a funny name, but it's incredibly efficient to strengthen the core. And we actually have different dead bug progressions that we send to our people who need core strengthening. So here's how it's done. You're obviously going to start by lying on your back with your knees bent and your heels on the floor. You're going to extend your arms back behind your head, and you're going to engage your pelvic floor. So on the exhale, you're going to draw your knees into your chest, and you're going to crunch your shoulders off the ground. Then you're going to reach for your toes as you contract that pelvic floor again. Then you're going to inhale, lower your arms, and put your heels back down on the floor. And you're going to repeat that 15 times. And the more advanced you get, you can look up all the different versions of dead bug that there are.
There's a lot to it. Okay. So strengthening a weak pelvic core, or pelvic floor,
or that core, I like it. Works for me.
Can also improve joint pain, low back, and hip pain. And the best way to achieve these benefits is going to be through proper alignment and perfect posture. So in all honesty, this is probably the most challenging exercise, but probably the most beneficial too. So having just proper alignment of, our pelvis and our spine places the pelvis at the best angle to support the entire abdominal wall and our pelvic floor. And this makes it easier for the pelvic floor to strengthen naturally too if you are sitting in proper posture. So from acatoday.org, here is how to stand correctly in correct posture. So to stand correctly, you're going to bear your weight primarily on the balls of your feet. You're going to keep your knees slightly bent. Keep your feet about shoulder width apart. Let your arms hang naturally down at the side of your body. You're going to stand straight and tall with your shoulders pulled back. Tuck that stomach in, so keep your head, tuck the stomach in, and then you're going to keep your head level, so your earlobes should be in line with your shoulders. And this one, a lot of us have made it so that we can't really do that naturally. It takes some training to do it.
Because we have forward head posture, because we're always looking down at our phones.
So optimally, in a perfect world, we would keep our head level to where our earlobes are right at the same level as our shoulders without having to push your head forward or backward or to the side. I probably have to push my head backward
a little bit.
To get there now. And then you can shift your weight from your toes to your heels or one foot to the other if you have to be standing for a long time. And you'll want to maintain this posture while you're sitting by placing your feet flat on the floor. You're going to allow a small gap between the back of your knees and the front of the chair, and your knees should be at or below the level of your hips. So if your chair's too low, then your knees are going to be too high.
In that position, when the knees are slightly below the hips, it allows for that natural lordosis of the lumbar spine, so a natural curve of the lumbar spine. And another thing to help you if you're not very well trained is, we've got little pillows, little lumbar supports, put something in your back. Would be really helpful in your car as well if you don't have a lumbar support in the car.
Yeah, and even besides just that lower lumbar spine, it's going to put our pelvis in the right configuration too. So then also relaxing your shoulders and keeping your forearms parallel to the ground when you're sitting at a desk is important. And then just avoid sitting in the same position for a long period of time.
How about just avoid sitting for a long time?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. I like it. Oh, my favorite thing to do, right? I'm a people watcher. I'm always noticing.
Yep.
Right, so alignment check, right? So your head alignment is crucial to your posture. If your head is way out here, it's going to mess up everything down below. One of the more common hindrances of posture, proper posture, is this forward head posture, right? When the head's misaligned, like I just said, the rest of the body's going to follow. So those of you with forward head posture are more likely to have pelvic floor issues. Who would have thought?
And we pretty much say this all the time.
We
in
do.
the office too.
Yeah, so to check your alignment, right, have someone take a picture of you from the side. If you've got long hair, tuck your hair behind your ears, right, so you can see your ears. And then just stand naturally. And if you correct your posture for the picture, you're going to give yourself a false sense of true alignment, right? And actually, one of the things that we do here in the office is we actually ask people, stand as straight as you can before we have a side picture taken. And, they'll all think they're standing great and their head's like an inch and a half in front of their shoulders. It's the craziest thing. So your ears should line up with the outside of your shoulder. And then the shoulder should line up with the hip, with the knee, and with the ankle. Tuck your chin to slightly lengthen the muscles of the back of your neck, and that's going to really help your pelvic floor.
So the two biggest posture mistakes that can hinder pelvic floor strength are going to be clenching your glutes too much and having a large pelvic anterior tilt. So first off, constantly clenching the glutes can be an unconscious habit, but it actually makes them weaker and it makes it harder for your pelvic floor to respond when you need it. Clenching your glutes will often cause you to clench your pelvic floor as well, and that in turn is going to make it ineffective at dealing with stresses such as sneezing. And this also forces the pelvic floor muscles into a shortened and tightened position. And secondly, a large pelvic anterior tilt, or sticking your butt out too much.
Yes, so an anterior pelvic tilt, right, this is the front where the pubic bone is going to look a lot like this. So if you feel your hips, there's bony bumps on the front, there's bony bumps on the back. If the front bump is lower than the back bump, you have an anterior pelvic tilt. A normal pelvic stance, I guess, or posture would be a straight line between the two. Right? Yes. So sometimes we call these people sway backs. So if you've ever said, "Oh, you have a sway back," that would be another.
Think about like a pop star sticking
right?
the booty out.
Yeah, sticking that booty out.
So this can make you look like you have big, strong glutes when you actually don't when you're in that position. And that can decrease abdominal strength and does nothing for the pelvic floor.
Right. And as you know, we were just discussing this, one of the things when we were talking about Kegels way back when, one of the things when you're doing the Kegel is you don't squeeze the butt muscles. Right? They're just pelvic floor muscles, and so many people want to squeeze that butt muscle with it, but it's just not. It's not that. Diaphragm work, right? So we talked earlier about the core being the diaphragm also. So a lot of people don't realize that, it's that whole box you've got to work. And you can make breathing a pelvic floor exercise, right? Coordinating the diaphragm and the pelvic floor with each other. So as the diaphragm expands and it pushes down into the pelvic floor, naturally you're going to strengthen the pelvic floor muscles. However, most of us are guilty of shallow breathing, right, which encourages the forward head posture. Yep. And it also disengages the diaphragm and the pelvic floor muscles. So when you're breathing, I want you to do what we call diaphragmatic breathing. So hard to say. And really, you can do it in any position. You can sit comfortably with your knees bent, shoulders and head are relaxed. Place one hand on your upper chest and one just below your rib cage. And this is going to allow you to feel the diaphragm move as you breathe. So as you breathe in slowly through your nose, your stomach should move out against your hand. Then your hand on your chest will remain as still as possible, right? Unless you're doing yoga breathing and you're filling up the top of the lungs too. Right? Then you're going to tighten your tummy muscles and breathe out, letting them fall as you exhale through pursed lips, right? And the hand on your upper chest should remain as still as possible. So it's, and you'll probably have to exaggerate the movement. If you're not used to tummy breathing or diaphragmatic breathing and you breathe here all the time, you might have to really exaggerate to learn how to do this move. So practice, practice, practice.
So core exercises are really crucial for supporting both proper alignment and posture, and also for strengthening the pelvic floor, as we've learned today. And in order to properly support abdominals, pelvis, and surrounding muscles, the hips need to work too.
Yes.
So a good exercise for your hips, and also like incorporating your pelvic floor, is going to be a rotating lunge with resistance. And
that sounds really hard.
The video looks hard. So we put a video, we're sharing a video in our list of videos about that exercise, and it does look hard.
Nice. So when you guys do it and try it, put a comment in under the video here today so we know that you tried it. It was really hard, it was really easy, or, you know, whoever can do this is crazy, whatever you think about it. All right, so who's ready? Yay! So I know we've discussed some great information, but let's do a quick review, right? Strengthening the pelvic floor involves more than just the pelvic muscles. The following exercises are going to help work the core, the glutes, the hips, and the back, right? We talked about bridges, we talked about planks, we talked about wall sits, split tabletops, tabletop pelvic tilts. We talked about bird dogs, and we talked about dead bugs. Those are the kind of best bugs, I think, anyway. So as we've just reviewed, posture plays a really significant role in strengthening and supporting that pelvic floor. Proper head alignment also and diaphragmatic breathing are just as important in strengthening exercises. So who's ready to commit to strengthening pelvic floor muscles for better health? Raise your hand, put a little comment in there, give us a thumbs up or a heart if you're ready to do so.
All right. So, like I said, we're going to post in the comments a video example of each of the exercises that we talked about tonight.
Yep.
And if you guys are interested in any of the other resources that were used to make this class, just let us know and we will send those your way.
Absolutely.
And that is all we've got
that's
today.
Nice. We did it right in time. I love it. So that's a wrap, you guys. Congratulations. I hope everybody learned some valuable information regarding the importance of a strong pelvic floor, how to locate the pelvic floor muscles, what the benefits of having strong muscles are, and exercising them regularly, right? You should all feel really well equipped to get started today. And if anyone has any questions, make sure you share it in the comments. And then,
I'll let you continue.
Are you sure? Awesome, thanks.
You like this part.
I do love this part, right? So join us next Tuesday, August the 11th, 6:15, right here on Facebook for our next live class. It all starts with your feet. Crazy, right? So if you or anyone you know has foot pain or low back pain or both or knee pain or hip pain, right, you're going to want to let them know about this. And, you know, for right now, just head over to the Facebook page, right, for next week's class. Click interested or going. Be sure to share it to your friends and family, your timeline. And, you know, we just really love sharing these topics with you guys. We want everyone to be well, and we want them to reach as many people as possible. Like I said, we're building a tribe of wellness warriors here in our community, and we need your help to build the tribe. Also, if anyone has any ideas or topics that you'd like us to cover on any future Facebook Live classes, please let us know in the comments. You can shoot us an email, a text message, whatever you might be. And also remember that all of the videos that we do go over to our YouTube channel. Dr. Robin Lawrence is the name of the YouTube channel. And then if anyone you know is curious about chiropractic, right, or about taking a more holistic approach to health, give us a call, you know, here, and set up a free consultation, right? It's always free to talk to us. And have a great night, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. The weather's beautiful. Go outside for a walk.
I know. I need to.